till date Netflix doesn't understand what makes me so angry about them.
So one of the things I wanted to start with recently is that I heard you bought a lot of DVDs yet again for your huge DVD collection.
Yeah, because I was surprised to find that this time when I went to the shop, there are not as many physical forms of DVD and Blu-rays because they're slowly disappearing. Yeah. And only the specialty houses like Lorber, Criterion, or A24, or Radiance, or Arrow.
Yeah.
Beyond that, there was nothing.
So what were some titles that you were really happy you picked up recently?
No, I got a lot of 4K renditions of old classics.
Like what?
Like Fiddler on the Roof and Casablanca and Sound of Music and kind of, and lots of new ones as well. The new A24 movies. Queer, I love that film, so I found that. And a lot David Lean box set, and this African filmmaker whose box set just won at Bologna as the best box set of the year, Usman. So his films I got.
That's amazing.
Lots of things,
Yeah, no, we need
lots of movies.
I know we're not here with your Bombay DVD collection, but I'm glad I was really surprised that you were still adding to it. So you've often said that your work is born out of some form of anger. So I'd love to know, what are you angry about these days?
No, I'm not. I'm angry about not being able to say things the way I want to say them, or in the words I want to use or say them. It's like suddenly lots of things happening across. YouTube has come out with a list of words that can't be used. And if you use those words, you can't promote whatever you put out. And YouTube, of all the people in India, has come out with words. And words that say, for example, what do you call an ass in India? It's a body part.
Yeah.
So you cannot, you can't do that. So it's literally like my entire filmography wouldn't exist if I were to start today.
Wow. That'd be like
a film like Black Friday or Devdi or Gulal, nothing would have been made. Nothing would have been made because everything is a big no. Like I'm saying, if you go through your entire mythology, somebody or the other is named after your heroes, mythological character. Like say for example today, say Alia Bhatt is popular, and kids born much after she's become popular will be named Alia.
Yeah.
Like I was named Anurag after a film called Anurag, right? So if in your writing, your characters can't be named after any of the characters that have been part of mythology.
Yeah.
So it's very strange. You have to look for it, and they can't be named after any living characters.
Okay.
So what is left there? You call your characters XYZ, 1, 2, 3, 4, ABC.
Unnamed characters.
Unnamed characters. You can't have surnames. You can't have, if a character has any kind of a greyness or negative blackness in it, they all have to be white. Otherwise, anyone can take offense or whatever can happen. These are new rules and sudden rules and out of the blue. And lots of films are not coming out when they address these issues.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to talk about this because you did change Indian cinema quite significantly. Gangs just celebrated 13 years. There's Black Friday. There's Dev D. You said it wouldn't come out today. What was it in you that allowed you to make those films even then? Because nobody else was making those films either back then.
Because it's very important, because this hand-holding does not let you grow. This hand-holding happens only when you don't want your audience to grow.
Yeah.
What is the definition of an adult? Adult is a person who can think for themselves. You don't want people to think for themselves. You don't want them to make a choice of this is good for me or bad for me. You are making the choice.
Yeah.
So now the platforms are making the choice. Everybody's making the choice except the individual who wants themselves. So what do? They eventually, this is why piracy happened. This is why people torrent things, and this is why people will eventually do find a way to watch and do things that they don't.
Yeah.
They're not letting you do it.
Yeah.
And by protecting it, if you think you're protecting people and you're purifying them, then for years, Indian cinema, before we started making films, were about social messaging.
Yes.
And social messaging was Be good.
Yeah.
Do good.
Yeah.
Don't be evil.
Yeah.
What did it bring us to?
The emergency.
Yes, I'm saying you need to hold a mirror.
Yeah.
Cinema, art, any kind of a culture needs to hold a mirror to what society is, so they can look at their own ugliness.
Yeah.
They can look at their own horrific ugliness, their prejudices, their biases, their narrow-mindedness, and you can't hold a mirror anymore because people don't want to look at it.
No.
So the cinema has to be like, of all the things, cinema and culture has to purify all things. You have our big politicians, and there are these clips which have gone viral and real, where you hear them abusing you. They hear them say any kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But they are in denial about these don't exist anymore.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about, here's my theory for why I think you were making films that were different than other people, even in the 1990s and 2000s. So this was my fun fact that I learned, which was that you write your scripts in Hindi by hand.
I do.
And I think there's a death of that. Not many people are doing that. They're either typing, they're either writing in English and then translating it later with dialogue writers.
I know most of the people don't even know Hindi.
Correct.
And problem is people who are getting offended also don't know Hindi. A very, very, very big example of this is, for example, from my very first film that I wrote, Satya, the word in contention is a word called chutya. The chutya, in dictionary, in language, you Google it, it will say it means stupid and bevkoof. It doesn't mean anything else. The problem is the censor board is in Maharashtra. It's not the Hindi-speaking people who sit there.
Yeah.
It's the people who have made a meaning out of it. It's pronunciation of how it sounds. Of it.
Yeah.
They don't understand the meaning of it is stupid and bevkoof. Murkh. That's the meaning that will come out on your Google. That will come out in Hindi Shabdkosh. So my first film, I literally had to carry the Hindi Shabdkosh.
Yeah.
Now they don't allow you to even take the phone inside, right? So if you really know the language, then you will understand what the usage of a word and what does it mean.
Yeah.
The problem is we are dealing with the people who do not know Hindi.
Correct.
And who are saying that everything has to be done in Hindi. They don't write in Hindi. They don't speak Hindi. They don't know the meaning of any of the words. They don't know the meaning of the usages. They object to muhavras. They don't understand anything, alankar. They don't understand any part of the language.
No.
And they are now trying to control the language and tell you this is what it means, which doesn't mean actually.
Yeah. So how did you get so comfortable? Like,
I'm Hindi speaking. I grew up in Banaras.
Yeah.
I'm a Banaras born boy. I come from a place where we speak Hindi. We write in Hindi. I was in class 8 when I won the first Hindi essay competition. And I write a lot. I write a lot and I write in my language.
Yeah. And why handwriting? What does that allow you to do?
It flows. When you type, you procrastinate too much.
Yeah.
When you write with your hand, you don't procrastinate as much.
Yeah.
You flow. You flow and you write and it comes out of you. Everything comes out of you.
What's the fastest script or story you've written? Fastest. It flew so fast, it just couldn't stop.
Lots of them. One was a film called Kaun, which I wrote for Gopal because...
It's an excellent film with Urmila Matondkar, right?
Because he said something like, if we have the script by tomorrow, we can go and shoot a film. And he had an idea. He threw the idea. And he said it's a limited budget, 3 actors. I wrote, not that the script was short, because that script, first 10 pages, and remember, flew away somewhere. And from wherever it started. And we again, still, it went on the floor, but it went on improvising. And lots of things were used, lots of not used. But other than that, Kennedy, I wrote very fast. This new film that's coming up, Nishaanchi, I wrote it back in 2016 out of anger, because I had written a film I was working on a film called Mukkabaz, and there was a lot of pressure, and I had Bombay Velvet experience, and post Bombay Velvet experience, there was a lot of pressure to do Mukkabaz with a big star, and I was like, no. So since I'll give you another film, and I don't know what happened to me, and I just kept writing for 3-4 days, and I wrote Nishaanchi.
Wow. Yeah. So I also want to talk about, like, not only do you write your own stuff and you are writing in Hindi, you're writing in handwriting, even in your next film, you love looking for new faces. You love launching new characters.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's not about launching people in the sense I don't see myself as somebody who launches people. For me, it's very important that I have commitment from my people. So the actors who are already established, they're not looking to reinvent themselves, or they're not looking for challenging roles. They're not looking for, what really drives us as a filmmaker, like, something new, something risky, something extraordinary, something. They're looking for blockbusters. They're looking for hits. They need a guarantee that this film is going to be a hit on paper before it's made. They're looking for that guarantee. And they're looking for that guarantee in the sense that, and that guarantee is not like that anybody can give you that guarantee. So for them, they assume the guarantee comes from the agents, guarantee comes from if this filmmaker's previous film is a big success. If my film today becomes a big success, then suddenly
the next one is easier.
The next one will become like. But my thing is, like, I need commitment from actors. The very few mainstream actors who commit to a film, the very successful ones do, like Amir Khan does, like Ranbir Kapoor does, even Ranveer Singh does. You say like Vicky Kaushal, who will give himself to one film till it's finished. A lot of Vinit Kumar Singh did in Mukka. But I'm saying lots of actors do that.
Yeah.
My actors always do that. I always work with actors who do that for me.
Yeah. Like Saif Ali Khan in Sacred Games. It's insane.
Yeah. And they commit themselves to a role. And it doesn't matter how much time it takes. It doesn't matter how much. So till they have not got it right. So which is how I look for my entire crew. So if they are committed to many things. Like today, actors are committed to many films.
Yeah.
So when they're committed to many things, then I pass it by, because so the new actors are the ones who are hungry. New actors are the ones who are hungry, who are very committed, who don't give up, and they will stick to one film. So my new actors will have like stuck to my film. Maybe tomorrow they become big stars, maybe they won't be the same.
Yeah.
So my thing is constantly look for actors who commit themselves.
Okay, so now we have to, in terms of acting, you've been acting recently. You joked you did it for your daughter's wedding. We got to see you in some great films. Even before that, from like AK versus AK, cameos in Tismar Khan. But you also joked that acting is easy for you, versus filmmaking. You started as a theater actor.
So I've done theater for a long time. Like I quit theater in 2006.
Yeah.
So earlier I did try acting in films, and I was terrible because I did not understand the medium, because I'm a theater actor and I did not have a good director who could explain the difference between the medium to me. So when I became a filmmaker, by becoming an actor, I realized what not to do with actors.
Wow.
By becoming a filmmaker, I have understood the medium now.
Yeah.
So acting is not very difficult, as in, like, because you understand the medium. But to me, being a filmmaker, I'm engaged round the clock. So filmmaking is much more enjoyable, and comparatively acting is boring to me. But the thing is, plus also, very few directors want to make challenging things.
Yeah.
So they're not throwing challenges at you. It's like it's easy. Like films I've had fun with, it shows on screen. Like they made me do things that I didn't think I would possibly do.
What was your most challenging role as an actor?
Challenging, like the climax of Maharaja was challenging because we shot over 7 days, and I actually rolled over and I tore my shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
So that entire performance in the end with one hand is because my other shoulder is actually torn. That was very difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing was very funny, and like I was unsure I would be able to do it in Rifle Club, is because I was at my fattest. With my whole, generally what happens is actors who have six packs and they bought built, they love to take their shirts off. And when I didn't want to take my shirt off, they made me take my shirt off with boxes and with my whole stomach falling out and at my worst. And then it was just one day, I think. After that, I think I became so shameless. and the weather was so hot, I thought I'm actually the best person off, because
Bindas.
I'm just in my boxes.
Okay. We talked, even when we opened today, you talked a little bit about the underdog, right? You know, your stories often champion the underdog, the person who you don't really expect. And they're not usually, you know, none of your characters are that great, let's be real. Like, you know, one of my favorite movies is Devdi. Why the underdog for you? Like,
because for me, I believe a person, my idea of looking at a hero is very, very different from rest of my industry.
Yeah.
I don't know outside. Outside people do look at people as real people. So for me, a person becomes a hero only when he does something heroic. See, in the definition of hero in Hindi cinema is he's a hero before the film begins.
Yes.
He steps in as a hero.
Yeah.
He does everything. So for me, my definition of hero is a hero does something heroic. And hence, when the story ends, either becomes a hero or the film is, he is the hero of his own story.
Yeah.
Right? Or he does something heroic or he's unable to do something heroic. Heroic can be physically by overcoming something, and overcoming can not just be the opponent or the like, say, for example, one of the endings that I really like is of my own films is Mukkabaz, where he overcomes his whole drive for wanting to box to win. But the thing is, like, he wants to go out in the ring. He knows he doesn't have a future anymore because he is lost against the politics of the sports.
Yeah.
But his whole desire of, if I have to quit, I will quit in the arena. I'll not quit outside the arena. So that's one of the endings that I really like. Or say, for example, the ending of Ugly. It's not, it's where everybody, by the end, the last shot makes everyone realize how ugly they are. Rather than, so it's not really a film about a hero.
Yeah.
It's a film about all kinds of villains and death of innocence.
Yeah.
So I'm saying films have different meanings for me. But generally what we are up against, filmmakers like me, there are lots of filmmakers like me, and most of the indie filmmakers, what we are up against is a general formula of having a hero from the word go, and this whole Instagram influenced cinema, which is it was one item every 10 minutes, and now it has become like every 30 seconds. Two things. Now a film is being edited like that, and so it's like you really don't know where it's all heading.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out. But yeah, there are lots of challenges which are not supposed to be there, like, but they are technically, it's technical challenges that are being thrown in at you. Now there will be AI, so.
Oh my goodness. Speaking about some of Devdi, that was one of my favorite movies. I don't know why I just rewatched it. I think because I'm Bengali and I'd never seen a Devdas adaptation like that. It was just so good. But speaking about adaptations, you have done such a remarkable job of taking books and adapting them to make them your own. You know, from Devdi to Sacred Games to Black Friday, or like written material and then adapting it. What is an adaptation process for you? Because obviously, I've read Sacred Games. I haven't read the source material for Black Friday. I've read the original Devdas, but your versions are so distinct and so different.
Sacred Games, I think a lot of credit goes to Varun Grover and Motwane. I was improvising on the basis of what they'd done, but adaptations, I don't have. My process is very simple. I don't want to lose the essence of the book. In the very first place, what happens is when people do adaptations, they're thinking backwards from a film, and they're seeing what can be cinema in it.
Or they're like cutting.
Yeah, so they throw out things.
To be
they throw out
the
things.
Format.
Yeah. I like a novel, and that's why I like long form storytelling. So I like the new film is also long form storytelling. On Gangs of Wasseypur, the long form storytelling. I want to tell the whole story, and the courage of it comes from some films like The Best of Youth, or when you see Scorsese doing Irishman and things. You want to tell the whole story. I'm saying cinema is a visual medium, and if your story holds, then people will watch the whole story.
Yeah.
And which is also the reason why series are so successful.
Yes.
Or why television,
Yeah.
the good television is so successful. I like telling the whole stories. And I like to be faithful to the books. I don't like to supersede the writer of the book.
Okay.
So every time I've done like something, Devdas Chandra is not there. So
Yeah. You can't collaborate with him.
But the thing is, like, most of the time, I do interact with the author a lot. And there's some authors who are like saying that, what more can you do? I've done my bit. What more can you do with my book?
Yeah.
And they push you in that direction. And that's also very empowering.
Was there a moment like that for Sacred Games? And I know, let's say, Varuna and Vikram did that, but like...
Sacred Games, I think Vikram Chandra was very, very involved.
Yeah.
And he also let Varun and Vikram take their directions.
Yeah.
And whenever asked, he was very involved. He was always be responsive.
Yeah.
So he was also very excited, and he was experimenting. It's like, for him also, it was a chance to rewrite the same story.
Yeah.
So it's always it's beautiful when a writer is involved in that way. Okay, I've written one story, it's a book. Let me rewrite the same book.
Yeah.
And visually, let's rewrite the same book and let's see where it takes us.
Do you have a favorite book that you've read or reread that you've always thought, I want to make this into a movie, but it hasn't happened
There are
yet?
loads of them.
Okay.
There are loads of them. I won't take the names because...
They'll take your
someday,
ideas.
they'll take my ideas. But there are loads of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's one of them might just turn into a reality.
Soon?
Hopefully soon, yeah.
When do you know that this book is like going to become when do you know a book is cinematic?
See, it's like Maximum City. I was working with Suketu when I was researching the book, and I've been wanting to do it ever since it came out in
happen?
2004. I have adapted it. I have done the adaptation, but it's stuck. 21 years, I think, I have been with the book. But finally, the scripts are done, but the project is kind of stuck. But I've been dying to do that a lot, very badly.
Yes,
that's very, very, that's the reason why I imploded when it didn't happen. That's the reason why I fell sick and everything that happened to me is mostly because Maximum City, I invested more than a year and a half. And year and a half of my whole being, and I handwrite my scripts. And I handwrote 900 pages.
What? That's longer than the book.
Yeah. So when you handwrite 900 pages, and for somebody, it's just a matter of, like, it's disbursed. You can't evaluate that in money. And somebody just to save their jobs or save their ass or whatever, just put it aside and ghost you. Then you're like, it breaks you because handwrite 900 pages. I'm like, I challenge those people to write 10 pages by hand.
Yeah.
Write a letter by hand, 10 pages. Then let's talk. It's an emotional, total investment, and they don't. For them, like till date, Netflix doesn't understand what makes me so angry about them.
Yeah.
Somebody's 1.5 year of work where you write with your hand was disregarded. Like,
so this was supposed to be a Netflix project, and it didn't come out.
It was a Netflix project, and they ghosted me. They did not even have the courage to walk up to me and tell me that, listen, we are having a problem. Can we solve it, or we are not doing it, or anything. They did not even have the courage. Till date, I don't have a single mail saying that.
Can they bring it back?
No, I don't know. There's a whole policy. I don't understand. I've now, like, literally, I've cut myself off from the producers and everybody else because I don't know what the producers did on it. I don't know who did what on it, but it's like literally a lot of my emotional investment for them was like just one simple decision of without having read to it, without having any feedback, no notes, nothing like that. So that has been my biggest heartbreak in life.
Well, we have to, since we're talking about Netflix, we know you started a debate, I started a debate because
problem is they do the same kind of shitty stuff because they don't understand India. And India, as like, say, for example, I wrote about Ted Sarandos and I wrote about, they understand the India, what is taught to them. He doesn't understand India. So what India office tells them, they believe that bullshit.
Yeah.
They totally believe that bullshit. And so they're doing exactly what bad television is doing to India. So the thing is, and they're charging money for it. what they're charging money for, that crap is available for free on other platforms and channels and things. So they don't understand. They don't understand that why they're losing value in the country. And they buy into any bullshit. And then what happens is, what makes me angry is when he pats his own back for the show that they did not have the courage to produce, they acquired it. All good shows on Netflix are acquired.
Yeah.
They have not. Squid Games was acquired. When they produced it, you saw the result. The second season.
Yeah. And season
Adolescence
3.
was acquired, yeah. Black Warrant was acquired. All good shows acquired. What they don't believe in is the only thing that works. For example, a show like Kohra, which they won't promote, Trial by Fire, which they won't promote, works for them. So they're so driven by algorithms. They're only interested in subscription. India's biggest power for Netflix is the 1.4 billion population, and they want that subscription. India's population is what they're running after, but they don't understand that they need to be better than their competitors. Is why and only when the subscription will come to them.
Yeah.
It won't come to them.
Yeah.
And they don't understand what good quality is. They're tech people. They're tech people who have hired bad television people, who have hired people from bad TV.
Yeah.
And they're none of them. And this is become like the old days of bad TV. How
It's
it
true.
was.
We're all going back into the
Yes.
cycles.
And they're doing the same old thing that really we wanted to put aside, is why there was a breath of fresh air when OTTs came in and we were like suddenly watching new shows. So look at Indians today are watching Korean shows more than they watch Indian shows. So the thing is, it's I don't know, whatever they're bought into, the idea they're bought into. And they really don't understand, and they don't understand how to handle things. They don't understand how to do anything. They panic, their knee-jerk reaction. Because most of the people there are only trying to save their jobs.
Yeah.
Because they have a lifestyle.
Yeah.
They suddenly have a lifestyle that they never dreamed of having. Right? And that's the lifestyle they don't want to lose. Nobody interested in quality work or cinema or storytelling.
Until it all hollows out and then it all falls apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your daughter did get married recently.
Yeah.
And you have another wedding coming up.
Yes, I have to go for the church wedding now.
So what was it like being the father of the bride? What was something surprising that you found out? Because, weddings, as you know, are such a hallmark of, let's say, Indian cinema post Hum Aapke Ho Kaun.
We all weddings used to be very simple.
Yeah.
Before, I think Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge happened.
And Hum Aapke Ho Kaun.
And Hum Aapke
It
Ho
ruined
Kaun
it for
happened.
everybody.
After that, the weddings have become like the fathers start working for the weddings.
True.
The family, it's like the weddings have become this 5-6 day affair, which I'm like, they never used to be like. So morning there used to be haldi, there used to be mehendi, everything used to happen in a day.
Yeah.
And wedding, and probably next day there would be a reception.
But it would all happen at your home too. It's
Yeah.
not like you're renting out a place.
Yeah.
You're doing all these
Nothing.
things.
Now it's all about show off and how big it is and how massive it is, and they just go into photo albums and things, and after a while nobody cares. Like all I remember of my parents' wedding is one picture.
Aw.
That one picture is enough for me.
Yeah. But of course, you probably had many more memories.
No, I don't. I was born after that. But the thing is, I just see that one picture and I'm like, okay, that's how my parents got married. That's so simple.
Yeah. That's true. But not this one. This one you have two. You have
Oh,
two
this one was a full-on Aapke Kaun. But it was nice. It was nice.
It was nice.
It was nice. It was very emotional for me because I had no idea. 2 weeks I was very emotional about things. And I don't know why. Maybe it suddenly felt like there's so much that I did not do, so much time I did not spend with my daughter, so much things I didn't do. And now the time has passed. And it's not going to come back. It's not going to come back. So memories are such things, they do things to you. So I don't know. After that, it also, somehow I started healing after that. Post the wedding, I physically, entirely started healing from within me. So there's something did happen. Something did change.
Maybe we'll have another movie that features some form of wedding, kind of like Dev D now.
I have no idea.
Okay, I have to talk about this because I've been friends with this person as well. You're really good friends with Vikramaditya Motwane.
Yes.
Longtime collaborators.
Yes.
What makes that partnership work? How do you guys drive each other crazy? What do you guys learn from each other?
No, I think I drive him crazy more than he drives me crazy. I have always looked up to him, even before I started making films. From my very first film, you'll see he has 2 credits.
And he has a cameo, no smoking.
Yeah, I have always believed in him as a filmmaker, much more than anybody else, and I think he's probably one of our best. And I genuinely believe that is why I've always taken a chance on him. I've always taken a punt on him. I also know in the beginning he was a very difficult person to get along with, for others, not for me. So I knew that others won't make films with him. Only I would. And I knew how to make a film with him by not being there on the set. So I made the first film. After that, I think now he's a very different person. He's calmed down after his daughter's grown up and everything. He's a very different human being. And now it's easy to make a film with him. But yeah, he's somebody I think is one of our finest filmmakers.
What makes him that? What makes him one of the finest filmmakers?
He can do many things. Many things. So, I mean, he can produce. He's very sharp. He knows how to work with other people. He knows. He's just technically also very sharp. He takes chances. He takes risks.
Yeah.
And he also empowers a lot of other people. There are lots of good things about him. For me, it's like until unless I do not handwrite a script, it doesn't matter who has written it in the first place. Just for myself, I won't start a film. But now, I also now let other people take charges without my Sylvester, who's my cameraman, or Aarti Bajaj, who's my editor, or my first AD, or my production designer, my costume person. I let them take the chances, and they make my film look good.
Yeah. It's very hard to delegate. I've been learning that too. It's very hard.
I know. I don't even delegate. I delegate my first AD to delegate.
Okay, so you also said in a recent interview that you're going to move out of Bombay.
I have moved out.
You've moved out?
I don't live in Bombay anymore. It's been 4 or 5 months.
You can't tell us where you are, right?
Oh, I don't want to tell people. But I have moved out of Bombay, and I'm very happy.
You are?
I'm very happy. I don't meet people who are constantly talking numbers. I have a different circle of people, or have books.
Yeah.
I'm back to how I was at the beginning. I'm in a very good space.
What are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm reading Izzo's. There's Jean-Claude Izzo. He's a Italian writer from Marseille, a French writer from Marseille. I read his book. I'm reading a book called Shormo. Okay. And next is his Marseille trilogy. And next will be Solia.
Okay.
I finished the trilogy next.
You've also said that Hindi cinema is going through shit right now before it can find gold. What do you think that the next golden era of Hindi cinema will look like then? Once we kind of get through this lull.
I don't know what it's going to look like, but definitely something very exciting is going to come. And it will come from new people. Or it will come from those really old people who still believe in cinema and who are not trying to adapt to today's world.
Yeah.
Like of storytelling.
Yeah.
The people who, it's like there either will be a Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Kind of a person, or Ridley Scott, who still have this old school of storytelling, or there'll be completely new voices.
Yeah.
Absolutely new voices.
Yeah.
But all those people who go with the market of like what is working, what is not working, are going to disappear.
Yeah. Are you going to be part of this new era?
I will not stop making films. I will stop making films when I die. Even from my deathbed, I'll be delegating somebody to do something.
You'll just have AI come to download your brain.
I'll not stop making films. I'll slow down definitely, because I want to spend a lot of time doing what I used to do earlier when my films were not releasing so often. I want to read a lot and travel a lot.
Are there places you want to go?
No, I like to just travel. I just like to travel. Lots of places.
Like
I
not
travel across the
unplanned.
world. Yeah, very unplanned sometimes. I travel across the world and I read a lot. I explore food a lot. And I don't want to stop doing those things.
Yeah.
And I really don't. It's like, I think, as you grow old, people from your life kind of start dropping out. Yeah. And finally you're left with a very close circle of people who know you and who let you be. So So I'm at that place now.
Yeah. I think I'm already there. I'm already there. I also want to talk about your music. The music in your films are actually so excellent and have stood the test of time. Amit Trivedi, even when you are writing for a project like Satya, those songs stay forever. Why do you think that is? Why do you think your soundtracks?
The credit is always to the people who are creating it. I just say no to what doesn't work for me. I only say no to what doesn't work for me.
But what are you listening for? Like, what's your advice?
I generally tell them, I look for new sounds. I share the script with them. I tell them the scene. They keep coming up with things one after the other. I don't stop them. Sometimes I end up with I start with 10 songs and it goes up to 25. I'm like, what is this going on? Because everything seems usable. Something or the other keeps happening. It keeps evolving. It's and the whole process is so beautiful. It keeps evolving. Yeah. It reaches a point nobody has a problem with anything. Like Manmazi, I don't know where we started and where we ended. So those things happen. The new film as well, which is a terrific music score, and we would keep trying something or the other new. Kennedy has a totally new score which we never thought was possible. It's poetry mixed with jazz, mixed with Tchaikovsky, something else. I don't know. It's I threw 3 different people in the room and they were jamming and something came out of it. So idea is not to cater to the market. Yeah. I'm saying, if you want to do good music, that if Bhushan Kumar is not buying it, it means good music. If TC is not buying it, you have great music.
No, TCS will buy it later after it already becomes a hit.
No, TCS doesn't buy good music at a good price. They paid very less for Devdi music, which they made a lot of money on, or Gangs of Wasseypur or Gulal, because they only pay for who's the star in it. They don't pay for the quality of music.
Devdi music to this day is one of the biggest cult soundtracks.
Yeah, but they paid nothing for it. TCS ask the producers, UTV Studio
plays at the weddings.
T-Series, yeah. They don't understand what's good music. They will only pay for a certain kind of music, and they push only for that. And they only pay for stars. I think the highest amount of money they paid for any of my films is Bombay Velvet.
Of course.
As a music, that is very good, but it worked the least for them.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted to listen to jazz. But they paid the highest price for that, and not for Devdi or Gulal or Gangs of Wasseypur.
Okay, I have to ask you, and then we're going to play a few games that are going to be really fast. Who's your favorite Nepo baby?
Who's my favorite Nepo baby?
Yes.
Ranbir Kapoor, Alia Bhatt, Ananya.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and who was Ayan Mukherjee?
Yeah.
Filmmaker. I don't know, there's Dhanush in the south, Selvarag one. There's lots of people in the south. Fahad Fazil.
Yeah. What do you think? I think Ananya, among the newer generation, we were talking about this a little bit, she's really kind of broken out among her generation.
I think
stars.
she's figured out, I think that one thing that happened long back in an interview where Siddhant Chaturvedi said that our struggles end where yours begin, and she took it very personally.
Yeah.
I think something happened, something altered inside her, because she changed after that. Something about her changed. Because after that I saw her in Control, I saw her in Kho Gaya Hum Kahan.
Yeah.
And something
in Gehraiya.
Something flipped inside her and she found herself. Or she is on the path to find herself. But whatever it is, she is doing great stuff.
Yeah, Vikram told me she and Vikram were talking to me about Control. And she said that she felt she got Control and all these other movies and those opportunities only because she took a risk in Gehraiya.
Yeah, she took a risk.
Where she wasn't the main character.
She is taking risks, and she's quite mature. And she experiments.
Yeah. And do you think that
she's not playing safe, unlike others?
Do you think that her generation of peers, not obviously other people, can learn from that? Do you think they can learn from her?
It depends on different. It goes from people to people. I think there's no age of learning. I just recently made a film with Bobby Deol, and he's my age, and he totally worked like a newcomer. He has done something so fantastic. I'm dying to share it with the world soon. So, which will totally surprise them. It's unlike what you have seen of him in previously or in Animal or anywhere else. So the thing is, he took that chance. So it's not like there's no age limit to it. It depends when they realize it.
Yeah. I think we're seeing this era actually where some of these stars that might not have gotten their...
No, I think the problem more than the kids actually are much more smarter. The problem is, I think the parents are not letting the kids be or make their choices. That for the sake of safety, the parental thing kicks in that I know better and I will protect my children and I'll turn them into, give them a very successful career. And I think that's where the problem is. They should just let them go out on their own and do things like normal everybody else does. And the kids will be successful. The problem is not with the kids. I think the problem lies with the parents.
I was also going to say, when you were saying Bobby Deol, I feel like there's a genre of, or an era of actors that probably didn't get their laurels when they were, let's say, acting as heroines.
I'm saying at the same, there was a time also when it was not about acting, it was about being a hero.
Yeah.
Which is also, it's there even today.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot, but it's still there today.
Yeah.
It's still there today. But still some people that just want to be a hero.
Yeah.
A lot of actors who would play characters before don't want to play characters anymore. They want to play the lead. Like one of the biggest problems today is also, which I faced recently, most of the actresses would not play the role of a mother, because they think that makes them older.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Okay, so we're going to play some games, Anurag. It's going to be, these are very short answers. So what's your Letterboxd top 4?
My Letterboxd top 4? I watched too many films.
I know, but you must have one.
Oh no, I have watched too many films and there are too many top films. I don't know.
But you don't pick your top 4 in Letterboxd? You keep it blank?
Oh no, I have not picked my top 4. Is there?
Yeah, you can.
I think it's blank. I didn't pick my top 4.
Okay, so you're not going to give us anything?
No.
Nothing. Okay.
Too many films.
Okay, so we're going to do a this or that where you have to reveal your preferences. So I'm going to tell you two films, and you're going to say pick one of the two. Okay. Satya or Black Friday?
Satya.
Satya or no smoking?
See, when you compare Satya with anything, I'll always choose Satya because that's my film school.
Yeah.
That's where I went and learned everything. So you compare Satya with anything, I will choose Satya.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to keep playing though. Okay, Satya or Dev D?
Satya.
Okay, Satya or that girl in yellow boots?
It will always be Satya, I told you. Satya is where I learned everything.
Okay, how about Satya and Gangs of Wasseypur?
Satya.
I'm going to remove Satya. Gangs of Wasseypur and Dev D.
Gangs of Wasseypur and Dev D.
Yeah.
Then I would pick Gangs of Wasseypur 1.
Ah, okay. Gangs of Wasseypur 1 or Sacred Games?
Gangs of Wasseypur 1 or Sacred Games? I would say Sacred Games 1.
Okay, Sacred Games 1 or Man Marzia?
See, that's a tough. Sacred Games 1 was so much fun, but Man Marzia to me is very personal.
Okay. Man Marzia or Kennedy?
Kennedy.
Okay. Kennedy or Ugly?
That's a very difficult one. For me, they're both the same. Kennedy and Ugly is both the same. So they're actually both the same. I can't pick.
Okay, we'll end there. Wow, you've been protected by your Satya answer for a long time. Okay, I have to end with, what's your next project? Can you tell us
My
about
next
it?
film, I have 4 films that I've done, including Kennedy. There's a film that I've done with Bobby Deol and a lot of actors.
Can you tell us what it's called or anything else?
I know we have not announced a title yet. And we finished shooting the film, we finished editing the film, we have almost done with the post-production. And there's a film coming out for which we have announced the teaser called Nishaanchi, which is releasing on 19th September. And there's one more film that will slowly we'll reveal later. All done, they're all done and they're all been edited, done, because unlike people generally announce their films first and then they rush it.
Yeah.
I finished my film and then announced them. So everything is now finished. So one Nishaanchi has been announced. The other 2 will also be announced soon after, because they are all finished by this month. Everything will be ready.
Okay. Anything I didn't ask that you want to share with an audience, particularly the Indian American audience?
No, nothing. I'm just taking a long break from doing things because I was working whole of last 2 years.
Yeah. You created a lot of stuff.
I've directed 4 films. There's so much in acting that's going to come out. I need a break.
You deserve it. You deserve it. You know, okay, my last comment is, I don't know if you saw, do you see Monkey Man?
I saw Monkey Man.
It just reminded me of Sacred Games.
Yeah. Oh. I never saw it like that. But it has that element of Guru and
Yeah, it's like almost every single thing. There's even a shot where there's like fire coming out and it's like looks just like a shot from Sacred Games. And I was like,
I have to see it again.
You have to see it again.
I have to see it again.
Well, that's what I wrote in my review.
I want to see what he does in Shepherd. He's doing Shepherd right
now.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, can I ask this last question? What is it? Because now we're talking about Dev Patel. Is there somebody who's like part of the Indian diaspora that you're like really impressed by? Whether it's like Dev Patel or like what's happening in like American
I really
Hollywood?
like Riz Ahmed and Dev Patel.
What do you think they're doing that really excites you?
I think Riz is a fantastic actor. He's a great rapper. I've known him as a rapper as well. Plus, he stands up for a lot of things that people don't speak up for. And Riz's heart and head is in the right place. He takes chances as an actor a lot. And why I like Dev Patel so much is Dev Patel I've seen his constant growth as an actor. I knew him as a kid when he was shooting for Slumdog. And he's constantly growing as an actor, and he's taking on lots of mature roles. Like The Green Knight and things like that when he did Lion and now that he got into direction, and I know he's like very kind of an OCD like filmmaker, but he writes it himself. I saw him write it. I remember the day he finished the script of Monkey Man. It was my daughter's birthday. He was celebrating in the same restaurant, and he writes it. He gives it his all. So I want to see what he does, and he, with the resources that he had at hand, he made Monkey Man, and I know he broke his hand while shooting Monkey Man, and he still went on. He never stopped. I've heard the stories from the actors on the sets and how he pulled off the film. So I admire that a lot in a person.
Yeah. Let's see what he does with Shepherd, right?
I really want to see what he does for Shepherd.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Anurag, for taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.